Have you ever stood in your apartment so quiet you could hear your own heartbeat and felt a profound sense of emptiness? That was my reality. The only sound was the echo of my own footsteps in the living room. Takeout containers became a monument to my solitude, piling up on the counter. The silence wasn't peaceful. It was loud, a constant reminder of being alone. It felt like a heavy weight on my chest, this crushing isolation, with no one around to even hear me sigh. One night, the quiet became too much to bear. I grabbed a notebook and a pen, almost out of desperation. Sitting under the warm, gentle glow of a lamp, I just started writing. The sound of the pen scratching against the paper was a welcome interruption to the silence. I poured out everything, my raw thoughts, my fears, my frustrations. There was no filter, just an honest conversation with myself on the page. In that moment, that simple act of writing felt like a lifeline. That single night turned into a ritual. Every evening, I'd sit down with my notebook. My daily reflections, as I started calling them, became a non-negotiable part of my day. It was my space to untangle the mess in my head, to understand the ache of loneliness, and to start asking myself some tough questions. What did I want? What truly mattered to me? The words on the page weren't just complaints anymore. They were becoming clues, signposts pointing me toward a different path. This habit of reflection started a ripple effect. It wasn't about curing loneliness overnight. Instead, it was about transforming it. I started identifying small positive habits I could build. Instead of ordering takeout, I decided to learn one new simple recipe a week. The act of chopping vegetables, the smell of food cooking, it filled my apartment with life. I started waking up 15 minutes earlier, not to rush, but to just sit with a cup of tea and watch the sunrise. These weren't grand gestures, but they were acts of self-care, of showing up for myself. The notebook was my accountability partner. I'd write down my intentions for the next day. Tomorrow I will go for a walk during my lunch break. Tomorrow I will read one chapter of that book I bought months ago. Ticking off these small commitments gave me a sense of accomplishment that had been missing for so long. The focus shifted from what I lacked, company, to what I could build, a stronger, more intentional version of myself. Slowly, the feeling of isolation began to change. It didn't vanish completely, but its power over me weakened. The empty apartment started to feel less like a void and more like a sanctuary. It was my space, a place where I was actively cultivating peace and purpose. The quiet was no longer deafening. It was an opportunity for introspection, for creativity, for just being. I was learning to enjoy my own company, perhaps for the first time. This journey taught me that solitude and loneliness are not the same thing. Solitude can be a powerful tool for self-discovery. It's in the quiet moments that we can truly hear ourselves. My loneliness wasn't a life sentence. It was a signal that something needed to change within me. It was a call to action, to stop waiting for someone else to fill the void and to start building a fulfilling inner world for myself. The transformation wasn't just internal. As I became more comfortable and confident in myself, I found it easier to connect with others in a meaningful way. The desperation was gone. I started reaching out not because I was lonely, but because I genuinely wanted to share my time and energy. The conversations were richer, the connections deeper. I had built a solid foundation within myself, so I was no longer seeking external validation to feel whole. If you're feeling that ache of loneliness right now, know that you are not alone in that feeling, and it doesn't have to be your forever. Maybe your first step is a notebook and a pen. Maybe it's learning a new recipe or taking a walk. The key is to turn inward and start a conversation with yourself. Ask yourself, what is one small thing I can do today to show up for myself? This process of turning solitude into self-mastery is an ongoing journey, not a destination. There are still quiet days, but now they are filled with purpose. The echo in my apartment is no longer one of emptiness, but one of potential. It is a reminder that the most important relationship we will ever have is the one we have with ourselves. By nurturing that relationship, we build a foundation so strong that no amount of silence can ever make us feel truly alone again. Thank you so much for watching and sharing this space with me today. If this story resonated with you, I'd love it if you'd like this video and subscribe to the channel for more conversations like this. Take care and be kind to yourself.